Hello friends, I am Sanyukta and today we are going to be learning a Zentangle original pattern called Zenith. Yes, the pattern consists of a series of C shapes arranged in such a manner that they look like beautiful flowers at times when combined in two at a time, and then some lines and which together make up the pattern Zenith. Let us have a look how to draw the pattern. I am going to draw here a series of C shapes. As you can see, this is a kind of a C shape, right? And then I am drawing inverted C shapes over the C shapes I have already drawn, joining at the center, right? This is the center of the C shape. Again, touching this point, again touching this point till here and here. This is the basic outline of the pattern Zenith. So there are 2 points worth remembering here. We are joining at the center of the C shapes and we are touching these tips, right, both at the same time. So I'm going to draw one more. So this series of C shapes and then inverted C shapes. If you want, you can also rotate your tile and draw the other way, right? So I'm starting from center, touching this point, again going to the center, right? So this is the basic outline, and then I'm going to add these inverted V shapes, right? And then an aura, on both the sides, like this. Right? And then if you want, you can add some puffs or tipple or circles, whatever you may call, or embellish it in any other way you wish to, or you can play with the aura. If you've seen the newsletter by any chance in which this tangle pattern was released, there are about 5-6 variations wherein Rick and Maria have played with the aura, have played with the embellishments. So there are a number of tangulations that you can create, but this is the basic outline of the pattern Zenith, right? So now we will move on to our tile. So I am doing away with the border, the 4 dots, and starting straight with my pattern. So again, as I showed you, drawing these C shapes, right? If you're not comfortable drawing the inverted C, then the best way is to rotate your tile and then do the same exercise this way, right? I am comfortable both ways, so I am showing you. Again, I'm going to draw one more line here, like this. Right? And then again, if you're not comfortable the other way, you can start like this, right? So I'm touching this point and the center, right? Yes. So now the next step is to add these inverted V shapes or half diamonds, whatever you wish to call them, on both the sides. Right. Again the same exercise on the other one. Take your time, don't be in a hurry. Right. And then we are going to add an aura. So I am going here with the basic pattern, just the way it should be, no variations, no tangulations, right? So at times it is good to be simple. Yes. So I have auraed it, and now you can add those small tipple circles. Right. So the same exercise on the other side. I'm going to aura it. And then on the other side, an aura. Right. Now if you wish, you can color half of this portion to add some Zen, right? So I am coloring half of the diamond. Inking always looks good, as by now you know, right? So same exercise on the other side. It's a pretty simple pattern to draw. Right. So now what you can do is, I want to draw one more line of aura, right? Why? Because I want to do something in between, so that that thing doesn't get mixed up. I want to draw one more line of aura here, just outlining the shape, right? I don't want to leave the space in between empty, so I am adding one more line of aura here, just going with the shape that already created. I have already created, right? Yes. And now what you can do is, I think I will fill up the space with some pattern that we have already learned, and that's called betweed, right? So I'm going to fill up this space in between my zeniths with simple betweed. So you can fill it up any way. By now we have learnt about more than 20 tangles. So just let your imagination run wild, and you can pick up any tangle you wish to. Just fill up the space. I am keeping it simple here so that my tangle in focus is not overshadowed, right? So just going with betweed. So I am going to fill this up with betweed till the end, right? You can see here I have already completed drawing betweed from top to bottom, and then the aura that I had added inside, I am going to be adding it outside also, again to separate my zenith from the rest of the tile. If you want to fill the rest of the portion, it is up to you. If you don't want to, you can leave it empty. Just highlight your center zenith and leave the rest of the tile, right? That way also the tile will look beautiful. So I am adding an outer aura also, just like I did in the inside, right? And now what you can do is add some doodles here, or if you want to keep it pretty simple, then just do some line work. I think I'll go with some simple line work here, right? So we have done this exercise earlier, I think, when we drew the pattern bales. So I think you must be having some idea from there. When we had drawn the pattern bales, we had done something like this. I had drawn a kind of a sun around our printems. So it's the same exercise that I am going to do, keeping it simple, right? I'll just show you on one side how I am going about doing it. Adding some weight at the end of the line, right? Drawing a line, adding some weight at the end of the line. Kind of a V shape that I have drawn at the end, and then inked it, right? Yes. So going to do the same exercise. Just don't forget to rotate your tile so that your hand is comfortable. Just go around like this. Keep drawing lines, keep adding weight. Draw a V shape at the end of the line, right? So I'm going to do this exercise on both the sides, right? You can see here I have almost completed both the sides that were empty with this beautiful line work, just adding lines, curved lines, and adding some weight at the end of the line, right? And you can see here how the tile is looking. Let's go on to shading now. So I'm going to pick up my pencil and then add some dark graphite here at the outer aura, first to separate my zenith from the rest, right? So you can see here adding some really dark graphite, going with a heavy hand and separating my zenith from the rest, right? This is the simplest version of zenith as propounded by the originators. So a combination of C shapes and some straight lines. And why I said looks like flower also, I'll show you. Because when you combine two zeniths to create a tangulation, it has an entirely different look, right? And then the same exercise on the inner aura, again to separate it from the rest. So going pretty hard on my pencil. Right, so shading adds great dimension to your tile. By now we have drawn so many tiles, you must have realized how the look of the tile changes drastically as you add dimension, contrast and depth to your tile through shading, right? So no technicalities involved as such, just go by your instincts. So have done the border. Now some graphite at the center, some at the corners. And just a touch here, very light touch on these petal kind of shapes at both the ends, right? Just a touch. Just putting a dot. Now with my blending stump, I am going to blend the graphite. Just pull it in away from the edges towards the center. Right, same exercise on the other side. Just make sure you don't cover up the entire beadweed with grey. You want to leave a highlight, right? So just leave a patch white so that it looks like a shimmer or shine on your beadweed, right? So you can see here I've left kind of a line in between which is not grey. Again the other two sides, just blending the graphite, gentle circular movements, taking the graphite away from the edges, pulling it towards the center, right? Again same exercise at the edges. And then spread this center graphite that you have put, right? The same exercise on the other end. Blending the graphite. Right. Again, not covering the entire portion, right? And now we had given a touch of graphite inside. I think I forgot to color this one. Yes, so I had given just a touch, so just let it remain a touch with your stem also. Don't blend it too much, right? Just a touch with your blender, like that. Just a touch with your blender. Right, so let's take up our white charcoal now and add some white charcoal at the center of the beadweed because you want to highlight it, right? Take away the excess charcoal with the help of a blending stump, not the same one, a different one, and then some highlight here. Right, again blend it, and some highlight here. Right, again blend it. Right, if you wish you can re-emphasize the inner line as I have done many times earlier also. After shading, if you wish, you can retrace the inner aura, or you can say I'm adding a little weight and doing the same on the other side, retracing the inner aura adding a little more weight to it to increase its prominence. Yeah, so that's the tangle pattern Zenith, right? I'm going to now initial my tile and sign and date it. Take a moment to appreciate your tile. And in the second part of Zenith, we'll be dealing with two interesting variations or tangulations of the same pattern, and we'll see how we can create magic with this simple pattern Zenith, right? So do catch up with part 2 of the video. Till then, goodbye.